Hey everybody, how's it going? Ollie from College Center, Chicago. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel so that you can follow all the great stuff that I'm going to be throwing on here. So let's move on now. When it comes to Kali, they say it's a bladed system. The problem that you might see online and you might see in a lot of YouTube videos is you don't know whether or not you're actually holding the stick right. Because this is supposed to translate. This is going to be a forged trainer. The only difference is it's not sharpened, but you want to make sure that you're actually holding this properly so that you know where that weapon alignment is, where that blade is. You're not just firing it and you're like, oh, I'm completely off alignment. And you need to understand the grip, because if you don't have the proper grip, you're not going to know where this thing is. And if you don't know where this thing is, and you grab a Prado blade, this is forged by Second Lieutenant Prado, he's retired from the Philippine Force Recon Marines. This is what they use in combat. If you don't have the proper grip for the actual training rattan, how are you going to know whether or not you're holding this properly? So you might see a lot of people online that actually might not know where the orientation of this blade is, but it all starts off with the grip. And the reason why I say the grip is important is because if you've ever done professional sports, if you've watched professional sports, and you've heard a lot of the great coaches and teachers, for example, in golf, they always talk about the grip. Do you have the correct grip pressure? Are you utilizing in the fingertips? Is it in your palm? Because if it's in your palm, you're not going to be able to feel where the orientation of the club face is going to be. Well, guess what? It applies exactly the same to a rattan stick. You need to know where the blade is, but in order to know where the blade is, you need to have the proper grip. So the proper grip is typically 1 fist length from the bottom of the stick. And I usually like to do this because I used to be a golf coach as well, and I used to take a whole bunch of private lessons. My golf coach always said, fingertips. So you're just going to slide your fingertips right down the rattan and you're just going to curl it in place so that you can have the feel and you know where the orientation of the blade is supposed to be. Because if you don't have that, you don't know where the weapon orientation is, and that's when accidents occur. You don't want to go from this. You need to have the professional training of this. You need to have the proper training. The teacher needs to know how to utilize the mechanics of the blade orientation using the rattan before they show you anything that's live. You should not be grabbing a live sword if you don't understand the mechanics of that weapon. And if you don't understand the mechanics of the weapon, you're going to run into it, or the weapon is going to run into you. I've seen a lot of videos online, and I'm like, one of these days, as that person's running by, that weapon's going to go right into their leg. It can happen, and it's happened. So make sure that you work this diligently, check your grip, make sure that you're not killing it, you're not completely destroying it with your grip. Make sure that you can actually feel that in your hand. Practice it. Put all those long hours into it. You're going to get a good feeling. At the end, you're going to have the proper blade mechanics. You're going to have the awareness of where that weapon's going to be facing, or that sword, and you're not going to injure yourself. And guess what? That speed, that timing really amps up the power. There's no power leaks when it comes to something like that. Visit our school, come in for a free lesson, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit later.